Hey guys, what is up? Forde here, coming at you with a Destiny E3 gameplay demo analysis. So in this video I'm going to be going over what I saw in the video, what I think of it. So right now we're looking at the opening scenes in the, just overall landscape of it. Of course, it's Bungie, it's going to be an awesome, landscape. So, it's Earth many years from now. Similar to, Halo 500 years from now. So we have this first scene, we have a lot of, run-down cars and, looks like a road, overgrown, boom, skeleton, pretty easy stuff. Now this is where we really first see what seemed to be the main enemy of this we have a Fallen. And, it's a four-armed guy, he has a nice sniper rifle, he's looking at this really interesting ship. Now, we can't really infer much from the overall what it is. They have a couple swords in both hands. Looks like they have multiple different kinds of classes of Fallen, just as we have multiple classes of Guardians. So now we see what was the character played by the played as a Warlock here, jump down as a badass, that kind of thing. So what we're doing here is we're just looking, seeing what we can see. So you got the nice lens flare. Now here's where the first time that we see a weapon, it's a 27 round, has a holographic sight on it, some kind of EO tech. He slowly starts moving up. But here we see the wall, which is assumingly a portion of the wall that leads to the front, as they said, it leads to the frontier. And this is probably somewhere on the outskirts of the city under the Traveler. So we have the guy playing through it, walking through the the wreckage of these cars, broken glass, rusted up, clearly a good amount of time passed. And of course Bungie's attention to detail is fantastic. Moving forward, we can see that, here comes a ship, and what's really cool about this, and what this can really infer, is the drop-in, drop-out playability of the overall game. If we can see the, you have your friend come in, it's like, it says, like, Forde Toss has enjoyed the game, it shows a ship fly down, boom, I'm in. That drop-in, drop-out gameplay, something that we've seen in, I think it's Borderlands and many other games, it really can add to the in-depth to the game and what we can just expect from this open-world first-person shooter that Bungie is developing. So we have him, he's playing a hunter, which I'm personally going to be playing a hunter. I play damage dealers, I played World of Warcraft for 5 years as a rep, I still do. So with that said, here we have, we're switching to this, we can't really see much here, but it looks like the hunter has some form of basic assault rifle. That said, we don't have really much to see here, he's walking. Alright, now this is really cool, because this is where we first get to see some nice HUD things. You see it says 5 Oryx-BNG. What that means is, I'm assuming, is that he's a level 5 player, and he has, then it has his name, which is a great way to identify it. It's a nice nameplate. Something that, it almost seems like it's very similar to WoW. And the cool thing about that is that you have the overall name, you can see it through the walls, which means you can see where your teammates are, people in your fire team. That's important. I have to really commend Bungie for their minimalist UI. It's very immersive. You got the radar on top left instead of bottom left, similar to Halo. It looks to be somewhat very similar to a motion tracker where, it has your line of sight, what you can see. Bottom left hand corner, it's got your ammo, it's got your primary, it's got your secondary. And then it's got these two abilities, which it seemed to be like one is the Ghost, which he just used, and the other is something that is, we don't know. We might see it later, we might, after rewatching this a couple times, we might see it later on. I can't remember off the top of my head, but right now, we have this nice little, Ghost ability. If anyone does know what the two bottom left-hand corners symbols are, that'd be great. So we have him, we got a dark screen right now, can't see much, at least, from this, and now we're here. We're at this, construct-looking, bowels of the wall, and it's just, we have, so the Ghost seems to be this AI-controlled, I actually, it might not be AI-controlled, but right now, what it is we have it moving around, and it's lighting up the overall thing. And this is confirmed ADS combat. I don't have a problem with ADS combat. There's a lot of games that pull it off. So with their first encounter here, we can clearly see that the overall UI seems very similar. We have the nameplates over the enemies alongside the level next to it. So these are level 3 enemies, so they out-level it a little bit. So we see a grenade type of some kind there, or just an explosion. We have a couple more enemies dropping down here, Fallen of some sort. couple have swords, a couple have guns. Pretty standard for enemies. So, you know, we're zoomed out of the footage right now. We're going back in. So he's, you know, got the nice little reload animation going on here. We have sprint. So that sprint's confirmed, and it also is confirmed that we have, you know, maneuverable skills such as slide. So right there, it said critical. So, you know, it's going to be similar to Borderlands. Of course, he's loving to miss shots, but we have this Magnum gun, and he's, you know, hitting shots. You can see criticals when you go get a headshot, which is, you know, it makes sense for the game that they're doing. So, bam, critical headshot. Moving forward, you got them moving across this catwalk. All right, so, you know, of course, more beautiful scenery. Now, we got a couple more enemies up here, just some more fallen, and, you know, we got the zoom out. So, oh, here we're back in the game. So, you know, they're moving down this hallway. He used some skill. It seems to be a fire-based projectile, which really just wants to incinerate anything that's passed. And there we see a warlock. You know, he jumps out of third person, jumps out, boom, fires a spell. You know, pretty cool. So there is, you know, that does break the first-person immersion, but not in any major sense.
All right, let's mop him up.
So now we have this big baddie, or you know, Erixis Archon Slayer. Pretty awesome name in my opinion. You know, he has a skull next to his name, meaning he's either a boss or an elite, similar to, you know, most MMOs such as World of Warcraft. Seems like this, you know, just the overall group aspect from World of Warcraft is something that's very good. So, okay, so it seems like there is the revive system there. That said, you know, he's nailing up some criticals, just trying to whittle down his health. He throws a fire grenade of some kind, it seems, and it was one of his spells, so it seems like a warlock spell, surprisingly enough, is a fire ability. So, you know, just hold square to revive. He comes back into the game. Don't know if there's any res sickness or something like that, but here we have Glimmer and Loot. So, Glimmer is the currency or loot system, one of the two, it's unconfirmed which, in Destiny. So now we have a menu, which is a really nice, it's you know, you have your gear overall kind of just, you know, here's what we have, here's the weapon, here's the leveling system. So let me know what you guys think about the leveling system, about weapons. How do you feel in this possibly competitive shooter? With that said, it's, you know, it has weapon levels, item levels, which is quite good. And here we see this magnificent piece of hardware, this nice little LMG, nice little sight on it. But what really is exciting me is what's coming up here. So, you know, of course he has to, you know, party with the gun a little bit, but here we have this nice little sniper. So, you know, I always like the sniper. Come on, who doesn't like sniper rifles? But moving forward, we have some, it seems like we're about to exit the wall here, as they were in the demo. You know, so what's coming up next is, which actually is, I actually have a lot to say about. So we're gonna just sit back and think about where can Destiny go with what potential does it have, you know, with this grouping system, because that's what this entire next portion's about. So, you know, they're walking through here. You know, not, you know, just Bungie with their nice scenery, which they have done. If you can look at Halo 1 through Halo Reach. They're all really nice looking games for their time. So now we have this wonderful skybox, and here's what is going to be quite interesting. These group open world things. Oh, and here's another there it is, a Titan drop in. So, you know, Titan's going to be the tank-like class. As you can see, heavy armor, shotgun, rocket launcher, the heavy, big, hard-hitting weapons. So, it's quite interesting to me. And here we have something that almost looks like a rift from the MMO rift. You know, we have enemies come out of it, and it's a world event. So it's kind of Rift and Guild Wars-esque, where there's these public events that happen, and anyone who's in the area can participate in it. So with that said, we have a level 11 Titan, pardon me there, level 5 Hunter, and a level 5 Warlock. So here we have in the top left corner, it says joined public event, eliminate fallen targets. So it's very simple, very straightforward. So we have those, you know, speeder bikes is what they are. It's what, you know, come on, any Star Wars guy out there knows that. So we have the join public event statement come up, and all these fallen rain down from ships. You know, someone needs to be revived. So we have these fire teams join in, you know, and he says we have a fallen double walker, you know, Bungie and their awesome naming policy. So it's another boss. So with that said, he drops down. He looks cool, and there are hit markers, which is to be expected. This is not just a straight up first-person shooter campaign. This is clearly very drop in, drop out. And here we have another, you know, it shows the open world aspect. We have, you know, a couple of level 20 fire team members come in, and they're like, oh, look, world event. We saw it. We saw it on the map. We're gonna come. We're gonna go, you know, reap the rewards of this. See who else is there. So, you know, we see the UI is very. I gotta compliment the nameplates. I really do. It's something that is nice to see, that it's like easy to identify who's your teammates, who's the enemy, what their level is. So talking about this Devil Walker here, it seems like it's a phased encounter where it's like we shoot through legs, we can do damage to it, hit the glowing weak spot, it blows up. Pretty standard stuff. You know, it felt like an MMO encounter almost watching this. You have multiple phases. You have these these phases where you can do damage, where you have to disable, you have to watch where you're standing. I think it's quite awesome as a World of Warcraft player myself. So we have this cutscene. Now, you know, just looking at it, you know, we're talking about these threats, these alien threats, that who knows what's going to happen. You know, we have this interesting world. So, you know, maybe that guy, you know, the gray skin with the cool voice modulation on it is one of the big bad guys. Who knows? Maybe he's a faction leader. Maybe you can ally yourself with him. Maybe he owns a faction that you can gain reputation with, so you can get better gear. You know, the question is, you know, how much interaction with the ship? Will there be space combat? Will there be this? Will there be that? We don't know. We know we can explore the solar system, but who knows how far we can go. With that said, hope you enjoyed the Destiny commentary. Leave a like if you liked it. Leave a comment. Feel free to discuss it. Hit me up on Twitter at Fordetos, F-O-R-D-E-T-O-S-S. And I will see you guys next time. Stay tuned. Subscribe for all the latest Destiny content.